Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of the week again, Thursday night. Thank you for popping along to the pre-show for this Sunday's Super Bowl on the Third and Long podcast. My name is Shane Harris. Above me is the podcast OGs, Oliver Butler Henderson, and our beautiful baby Hope, conspicuous by his absence once again, Mr. Perrins, but he's assured us that he may pop along, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Gentlemen, how are we feeling on this wet Thursday evening?
Feeling a bit better now I've dried off.
Excited but nervous.
Story of my life, guys. But excited but nervous.
Big game on Sunday. Some might say the game of the season.
Oh, I just hate it. I just hate it so much. It's just sick. I can't. I've got to be an impartial broadcast journalist, and I've got to watch the game and enjoy it for what it is. But I just can't stand it.
Well, just enjoy the fact that it's the last game of the season.
And we won't see competitive football then until August, September at the earliest. I'm sick of saying it.
We could always get into the US XFL or whatever.
We tried that before, remember?
No idea where or how it gets done.
We all tried that, and then Phil was the only one that cared.
It's hard to retain such information, especially when the NFL season's over. As I was saying, it's I keep going over in my mind all the time that it should have been us. It's been 2 weeks and I'm still not over it. But yeah, it's gonna be a shootout Sunday. We will also preview that game on a live edition of the show on Sunday, preceding the actual game itself. Gentlemen, what time will we be live for that before the game on Sunday?
Oh, usual time. Usual 8:30.
8:30? Sound okay, no worries. Just wanted to confirm that, so that means I can start drinking 9:30. Yeah, that's fine. No worries. So, what do you want to talk about this week?
Oh, we should have had Cody Rhodes on. Oh,
I was thinking. So, what do you want to talk about?
Shall we start with rolling across the bottom of the screen, because we've kind of left it on there? The Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame finalist announcement.
Pat Willis or we riot. Pat Willis or we riot.
Give us your reason why Pat Willis should be in the Hall of Fame, Mr. Hope.
8 years, 7 Pro Bowls, 1 Super Bowl. We should have beaten the Ravens. This guy was an absolute beast and is my all-time favorite Niner ever. 52 for life.
Have you got a jersey?
No.
You can't be that much of a fan.
I'll tell you what, I'll get one when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I'll tell you what, I'll join you with Rodney Harrison when he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. Because
they should, in my opinion, they should both be this year.
Yeah. Them, and there's also the great, absolute brilliant kick returner, Devin Hester.
But my issue with Devin Hester is he's a kick returner.
So, kick returners are people as well.
Coffee in Baltimore, 2016.
I feel like it's hard to back a kick returner going into the Hall of Fame.
But he is the only player in NFL history to score a touchdown on a kick return on the first kick of the game in the Super Bowl. And Jim,
that's because Jacoby Jones done it on the second half kick return.
Yeah, but I mean, Brock Purdy will be the first player in the first starting quarterback in the 7th round to win a Super Bowl. Doesn't mean he'll be Super Bowl bound. Doesn't mean he'll be Hall of Fame bound if he wins this game.
Can I make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion for tonight's show? Everybody who has any basic interest in the NFL over the next few days are going to be choked with Super Bowl hyperbole. Are going to be, the game's on Sunday, Niners, Chiefs, Taylor Swift, and all that, right? And we've got to do that on Sunday as well. So can we try, just give the viewers and listeners something a little different just for today?
Can
you do that again, though, please?
Evening, gents. First time we've had a host team in the Super Bowl. I know, Tom.
Makes me sick.
It's been great. We've got to talk about the Niners for 2 weeks. And the thing is, we all know that the Ravens aren't going to get anywhere close to the Super Bowl for the next probably 5+ years. So let's face it, it's going to be the Niners next. The thing is,
as much as I hate to agree with you, you are 100% correct.
So many free agents.
We are effed for the next at least 5 years.
Let's go back to these gentlemen here.
Yes.
We've said this is impossible to achieve. You've got the likes of Antonio, who had a superb 15 years in the NFL as a tight end. One of the best tight ends to ever play the game. Probably not literally gave birth, but inspired the likes of Kittle, Gronk, Kelsey, Mark Andrews. These ones here now are going to inspire the likes of Brock Bowers, who are coming in this year, and all the other guys that are in here now, and Sam Laporta. Here and there, Willie Anderson's one of the best O-linemen I've ever remember seeing. Shane, you've seen him probably in the flesh at Baltimore. He is superb.
Yes.
He makes like Trent Williams look like a high schooler. He is a brilliant, brilliant player. We've already mentioned Devin Hester is probably one of the best kick returners this league's ever had. Andre Johnson, the wide receiver for Texans, Colts, and Titans. Julius Peppers, not Jabril Peppers, as Ollie called him earlier. The Carolina Panthers, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers. Then you've got Fred Taylor from the Jacksonville Jaguars, the running back. Probably won't make it in this year, but we had a couple of years in New England. Reggie Wayne, another great wide receiver, 13 years at Indianapolis. And then obviously you got Darren Woodson, one of the best safeties that has ever been in Dallas. There is some.
I love how you just skip past Pat Willis there.
Well,
you've already mentioned Pat Willis.
He deserves mentioning many, many times. I could do a whole hour podcast just talking about Pat Willis.
Oh,
I genuinely thought you had the biggest hard-on in the world for Nick Bosa, but apparently not.
Me and Phil are the best double act compared to the Bay since Willis and Bowman. It's a well-known fact.
What's the old saying? Self-praise is no recommendation.
Something like that.
Boys, if we could pick one, one shoe-in for this class that you're going to go with, who would you go with? I'll start with Mr. OBH because we already know who Baby's picked.
I'm not going to say Pat Willis because I don't think he'll make it in, but he should.
I'm taking my Patriots hat off and taking Rodney Harrison in because I think he should be guaranteed first straight in there. Antonio Gates, one of the best tight ends the league's ever seen by a country mile.
100%. He played basketball in college. That's how I think that affected his vertical leap when he was going for those deep balls, those high catches. I go for Reggie Wayne. And I think Reggie Wayne was a fantastic servant to the Colts for, as you said, 13 years. He didn't win anything in Indianapolis, but, they did have chances. But he played with the likes of Manning for a long time. And I think he's a shoo-in, personally.
I'm going to take my Niners hat on and take that Patriots hat from you, Ollie, and say Rodney Harrison.
Yeah.
He was an incredible player. Tom has come in saying, buzzing that Jared Allen made it, one step closer even if he doesn't get there. I don't see Jared Allen.
Absolute legend.
I don't see him getting in this year. It's a strong class this year.
Oh, it's a very, very class. But the thing is, it's going to be incredibly strong over the next few years. When you've got Eli Manning coming in, you've got Tom Brady, you've got Drew Brees, you've got Rivers, Gronk, Andy Dalton. There is so many players coming in. I just clicked then. So many players are eligible over the next 5 years, and it's ridiculous. I mean, we were talking about it in the chat earlier on in the week about Eli Manning. Eli Manning, yes, has won 2 Super Bowls, but one of the seasons he got in there, he was carried by his defense, and the other season they scraped in with a 9-7 record.
He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Yes, I think you think 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Like you said, it automatically depends who goes in what years, but I don't think he'll go in first year.
Yeah, but you just hold a grudge because they beat the Patriots twice.
No.
I don't know. Let's put David Tyree in just for the helmet catch alone.
I think he was eligible like 10 years ago, wasn't he? It won't be long till Ose is in as well. I think he goes in next year.
I'm not sure if he'll make it in.
Then you reckon?
No, I agree with. No, I don't think so either. I agree, baby, on that one.
He was a great player, but I'm not sure he's Hall of Fame level.
Great player,
2
but not
Super
great.
Bowl rings, great defensive end. It would be massive for the UK to have a national via Nigeria to make it into the Hall of Fame. It would be massive.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. But you were just saying that because you're a massive OC Mark. You know, it's like my favorite player should be there.
I would love to see OC in the Hall of Fame, but looking at it from a non-UK impartial view, I don't think he has the numbers.
Sorry, OC, I hope you're not listening.
Unfortunately, I think
7 sacks in one game.
I'd love OC to be listening, but I think he's probably got better things to do with his life.
And so what's it about midday in Vegas at the minute? Something like that, isn't it?
20-1.
Yeah. So yeah, he's probably a bit busy. They're probably doing something around out there at the moment. Of course, there is other bits and pieces. There are other players in there, but that's our suggestions. Who do you think wants to go in? Obviously, Jared Allen is Tom's suggestion. All the lists are rolling on the bottom. Have a look. I mean, I do like Dan Woodson from the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's a brilliant safety. I don't think he played possibly long enough in there, but
Thomas said, but does numbers mean anything to the NFL when building the brand? Yeah, but it's not the NFL. It's not the NFL itself that picks who go into the Hall of Fame. It's the committee, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a committee of 172 members.
Yeah. And I'm thinking it's the former Hall of Famers that are also in there as well, but who knows? Okay, let's roll on to Brazil news. So if you didn't know, on the Monday of the Super Bowl, so opening night of the Super Bowl, Roger Goodell was asked about the international series by our very own Neil Reynolds. Sky Sports Neil Reynolds, not further along. Love to have him on.
One day, if his career tumbles that much, one day.
Hey, and Roger Goodell had admitted that Brazil are going to be the first international series of this year. They are going to be on opening weekend, and they are going to be on Friday, and the Philadelphia Eagles will be the designated home team for that. What do we make of this? What do we make of it? A, being on a Friday, B, being on the opening weekend, and B, in the Corinthians Stadium, which I think is Rio, or is it Sao Paulo?
Sao Paulo.
So
just to be clear, it's going to be Friday night, not the season opener. The season opener will be in Santa Clara.
Well, for the losing Super Bowl list.
Yeah, that's a big chance, surely.
No, it's you know.
So what do we make of this? Do we, we always knew that Brazil was going to be the other game. What do we make about this? A, Philadelphia taking it. Everyone thought it would be Dallas. B, it being on the opening weekend on the first Friday, and C, being on a Friday. What do we make of these? Do you think it's too early in the season?
Honestly, for me, it's just meh. Like, that's what it is. I don't really have that big an opinion on it, if I'm honest.
Is that because you're a 49er and it's the Philadelphia Eagles?
No, like it could have been anyone, and I just don't.
100%.
It's not that. I just. It's a bit like when it's in Mexico City. It doesn't really affect my life that much.
No, I get that.
My word! Nothing the Ravens do affects my life that much, but I'm so passionate about it. I think the fact that they're opening the market in Brazil with the Eagles, I think it's a good pick for a upper mid-card team, for lack of a better term, a good team, even though they didn't have the best of seasons just gone. I think they're a good team with superstar players, and I don't know if anybody have seen it, but they can play one of the Eagles, Giants, Commanders, just to start things off then. And then we've also got the Falcons, the Panthers. Who else have they got? Just want to look. The Browns, the Packers, the Jags, and the Steelers. Yeah. So they could play one of those teams there. Who do you think would be the best marquee matchup? Even though we've said before that the game sells a ticket, not the teams.
I'd love to see them put Dallas in, but I just can't see them putting Philadelphia versus Dallas in Brazil. It's too big a rivalry.
Yeah.
So Leona's just said, wanting Vikes versus Saints in London this year, be a Vikes home game, but would be nice in any case. Well, Leon,
yeah.
I'm actually going to disagree with you because I want Vikings versus Niners as the game in London.
Boink. The last time Saints or the Vikings? We had the doink.
Oh yeah, that was the Viking Saints, wasn't it? With the doink.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll bring that back, to be honest. As good a game it was. In fact, wasn't it a double doink?
I can't actually remember which is.
I think it was a double doink.
I can't remember now. I can't remember.
It was a double doink.
So who do I want?
Thomas said, "Same, Ollie. We can beat you the same as this season." Yeah, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be so confident saying that until we know who your quarterback is.
So I think we can take Jacksonville and Carolina out of it because obviously, they're coming over here and Germany.
Well, there goes my support for the Niners in the Super Bowl, Ollie. Lol. And Tom has confirmed that it was a double doink.
It's probably going to be either, I reckon, Cleveland, Atlanta, or Pittsburgh, because I don't think it'll be an in-house rivalry.
Yeah, I was actually
unassuming mid-level game, you know.
I was just thinking Atlanta too. Actually,
it'll be one of them because I don't think it'll be. It won't be a divisional matchup. It won't be Jacksonville, and it won't be Carolina. It won't be Green Bay because they only played abroad a couple of years ago. Atlanta, yes, they played in the UK a couple of years ago, so it's either probably more likely going to be Cleveland or Pittsburgh.
Why do you think it'll be Carolina?
It won't be Carolina because they're in Germany this year.
Oh yeah, good point.
So that it's going to be either Cleveland or Pittsburgh, I think. But either way, I like it's on a Friday night because we're going to get 4 nights of football. Love that.
Yeah,
yes.
Going to be like prime time on a Friday night.
Yeah, it will be. Or it may be 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, something like that. So they get extra games. UK time, that is. I don't like it's week 1 because teams don't really get going until week 3 or week 4.
Yeah, they're very rusty.
And it's always been,
yeah, of course they are.
And it's all being a UK fan. It's always been that the UK have started it. Always UK. Then it had been Mexico, or then it had been Germany, but it's always UK that have started it. And I wish they kept that going. Personally, but that's my personal opinion on it. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, I would love to go to Madrid. I thought that would have been absolutely awesome in the Bernabeu, that new grass pitch, the way they do it and stack the stadium and all that. I thought that would have been brilliant, and it's domed as well now. The Bernabeu.
Well, Atletico Madrid have got a brand new stadium, haven't they? Could use that.
Must have been there for years.
Metropolitana.
Yeah. But I think they've got the Bernabeu built it like this so they can host multi-events. So I think it's going to be the Bernabeu. I mean, I'd love to know what Phil think of this.
Just while we're talking about stadiums, have you seen that the FIFA have released all the names for the stadiums for the 2026 World Cup because they can't use any branding?
They can't use what, sorry?
Really?
They can't use Gillette Stadium or AT&T Stadium or Levi Stadium, so they've had to rename them all.
Yeah.
Well, I never knew that. Okay. So you learn something new every day. Every day to school day.
Foxborough's still going to be called Foxborough.
It's called Boston Stadium.
Is it? I thought they were going to keep it Foxborough. I thought so that.
Yeah.
But so MetLife is going to be holding the final.
Yeah, that's called.
It's just called New Jersey then, isn't it?
That's going to be called the New York, New Jersey Stadium.
Love
oh my God.
Love it.
Santa Clara is going to be called the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium.
Oh, stop it.
AT&T Stadium is Dallas Stadium, and Arlington are kicking off about it. Houston NRG Stadium is called Houston Stadium. As you can see, they're really inventive names.
Madness.
I wonder how many ACLs are going to go in the World Cup final.
No, they need to be grass.
They need to be put as natural turf.
Yeah. Yeah, the Arlington Mayor was kicking off about the fact it's called Dallas Stadium, not Arlington Stadium.
Don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So yeah, I was speaking to, obviously when I was up at the lighthouse in Boston, I was speaking to the guy who works there. They've got to spend $1.2 million to remove the old turf, to remove the Astro, take the corners out the stages a little bit because the soccer pitch is a little bit wider, so it needs to put the corners so they can have the corner takers going in properly. And then they've got to put the grass in, and it can't be, and it's got to be like domed and all that.
I really hope they keep the grass in all the stadiums for the season.
So how it's going to be, it is going to be, I think they said it was 70-30, 70 natural, 30 like synthetic, so it doesn't cut up and doesn't break up, because it has to be put in literally a year before the soccer, before the World Cup. So they're going to be doing it at the end of next season. It's going to be returfed there in Gillette. Obviously, I don't know what the rest of the stadiums is. You know, you've got the likes of Las Vegas, where they roll the pitch in and out, the same as Arizona. They do the same as well. They roll the natural grass in and out. So that works. And when we talk about grass, do you know how much the NFL has spent on this year's pitch?
Go on.
$1 million.
What, for the Super Bowl?
Yep.
That's a
Because
carpet.
they spent $800,000 on it last year, and to be fair, it was poor. It was ripping up, breaking up all over the place.
So
this year they spent $1 million to get it perfect, and it is to get it perfect. So they don't have the same
I don't want to talk about pitches in Las Vegas.
pitches in Las Vegas. Wait.
Well, have you not seen all the thing about the Niners training facility?
That's just half
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bit wet. You'll be fine.
No, with the ground apparently is like sponge. While the Chiefs of Vegas's Las Vegas Raiders training facility, we're playing at UNLV, and they only returfed it like 2 days before we got there.
Here come the excuses. Here come the excuses. Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying you bring on the Chiefs.
It is time for our award winners, our awards.
Yes.
Live from your living room, it is the Third and Long Podcast Awards with your hosts, Shane Harris, Oliver Henderson, and Oliver Holmes.
Yeah, go on. Yes! I love it. I love it.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go.
So
fun fact before we begin. I initially broke out the blazer for the award show last year, and I haven't taken it off since. It's been like my in-show gimmick since then.
Was it last season or was it the midterm awards? I thought it was the mid-season.
I'm sure it was the same last year.
I thought it was midterms.
I thought it was half-term award this year.
Hey.
You could have just said yes. Nobody would have known.
So which award would you like to start with first? Should we go least to most?
I say we go MVP first.
Shall we do MVP and Offensive Player of the Year? Because let's face it, it's the same bloody player.
Yeah.
What? No way.
Yeah. So, drum roll, please, for MVP. It is San Francisco 49ers running back, wide receiver, fourth string quarterback, Mr. Gadget himself, Christian McCaffrey, or can't remember what me and my other half called them. He has been, to be fair, if it was a proper awards and Christian McCaffrey won it, I don't think any of us would complain.
I think he has a good chance tonight, to be honest.
Do you? Against the likes of Lamar and Josh Allen.
I think he'll win one of them.
Oh, yeah, he's undoubtedly going to win one of them. I'm on about MVP. Is this gentleman MVP in the eyes of the league?
I think he should be. I think he should be. Whether he will or not is different because Lamar flamed out in the playoffs. and this guy's been Mr. Consistent.
He ain't wrong though, Shano.
Just because it happened doesn't mean I like to hear it, right? I firmly believe that Christian McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Year without question, no worries at all, fantastic, and he's still got one more game to nail that award down as well, right? But no, I think LJ should win MVP, and apparently I'm not alone, because the NFL on Fox viewers have voted for LJ to win the same award as well.
Yeah, the NFL on Fox, McCaffrey won Offensive Player of the Year. And you talk about one more game to nail it down. It's announced tonight.
Yeah, but you know what it's like.
NFL Honors is tonight.
I knew that. I know very well, okay? Happy now?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this a couple of times now. If it wasn't for Christian McCaffrey, I don't think you guys would be in the Super Bowl.
I don't think we'd be in the playoffs.
Brock Purdy's done incredibly well this season. You know, what he's done and how he's done. And yet people are throwing so much heat at him. They would say, I've seen something of this before. They would say if he was running on water, they would say because he can't swim. Brock Purdy. They would always find something to knock him down.
I quite liked his comeback to Cam Newton. Did you see that?
Oh, that's brilliant. Would you like to tell us?
Okay, so Cam Newton said he was the 10th best. The Brock Purdy was the 10th best player on the 49ers. Purdy came back saying, I might be the 10th best player, but what I do know is there are over 90 quarterbacks in the NFL, and Cam Newton's not one of them.
Has anyone seen a resemblance to a certain presidential killer with Brock Purdy?
Yes, Lee Harvey Oswald.
I've seen Anna Fry, the TikTok, but I've not seen any presidential killer.
No, he looks. If you look at the images of Brock Purdy next to Lee Oswald, I can't remember his name.
Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK.
He killed JFK. They are very similar. Very, very similar. Okay, back to the award ceremony for Defensive Player of the Year. Pittsburgh Steelers defensive end TJ Watt. Gentlemen, I mean, if you look at the polls, he absolutely blitzed it. He got 67% of the votes.
But I don't think he'll win
this
it.
one.
I don't think he's going to win it tonight. I think he should, but I don't think he will.
Who's going to win it?
It's him or Garrett. Him or Myles Garrett.
I think Myles Garrett's going to win it tonight, but I think TJ Watt should. But I think because TJ Watt missed a game, that might count against him.
But then again, players have missed games in the past and still won awards.
Yeah, I just have a feeling that Myles Garrett's going to win it tonight. But
he's still got 19 sacks on the season. He still led the sack charts.
Yeah, I think I nominated TJ Watt last week.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, he should win it, but I just think Myles Garrett's going to win it NFL Honors tonight. But I'm happy TJ Watt won ours. Because ours is the actual official one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most definitely on that one. So, for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I believe it was nominated by our smartly dressed gentleman down the bottom down here. It was Jalen Carson from the Philadelphia Eagles, nose tackle, defensive tackle. This was probably the closest vote between all our polls. It was literally, I think there was one vote in it. I think over the lot, there was three of them with it on well into the 20s, and Jalen Carson just pipped it. Talk us through it. Do you think he'll win it tonight?
No.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that he won ours, to be fair, because, again, I was looking into the NFL on Fox viewers poll as well, and Will Anderson won it. Will Anderson Jr. won it, so that wouldn't surprise me if he takes the award tonight as well.
I'm going to agree with Mr. Hope as well on that one, and Mr. Harris down below. if Philadelphia Eagles defense had stood up and did what they did last season, he probably would win it, hands down. But the fact that Philadelphia Eagles defense planed drastically towards the end of the season says an awful lot. It really does says an awful lot.
Although he's the first person I've seen to dive to try and intercept a snap.
Spike.
I love that. That is. I tried to find that because anyone doesn't know. I tried to put a video together, and I tried to find that, and I was like, "Oh, please!" Oh, I couldn't find anything. It was ridiculous. Offensive Rookie of the Year winner is. Come on, really slow entry. Of course, it is Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud. Deserved. Puka Nakuma's had
100%
season as well.
It's not really surprising, is it?
No. Is either Puka Nakua probably has a stronger claim to it than a lot of people think. Breaking rookie records, receiving receptions and yards. But CJ Stroud, if it wasn't for him and Will Anderson, I don't think that Texans team would be anywhere near where they are now. And
I have to admit, I think CJ Stroud will win Rookie of the Year, and I think Puka will win Offensive Rookie.
Fair enough. Shall we roll on to Comeback Player of the Year? And the winner is Tampa Bay's quarterback, Baker Mayfield, who has resurrected his career down in Tampa, in Florida, and is looked to get $22 million a year. I think they reckon they're going to be paying him for the next 3 years.
The NFL on Fox Viewers had exactly the same result as well, Baker Mayfield. That surprised me because I thought everybody would have went for the sympathy vote, Damar Hamlin. I thought he was a shoo-in for the award.
I do think Damar Hamlin's going to win that actual comeback.
Yeah, tonight he will. When the eyes of America are on it, yeah.
Okay, yes, he's played some snaps. He's played some downs this year, mainly on special teams. We know how Mr. Paynes feels about that, so we'll stay away from that one. But if he had a couple of picks, interception, forced fumble or something like that, yeah, give him an award. Don't get us wrong, we love the fact he's come back from the dead because he was clinically dead. We love the fact he's come back from the dead. But I don't think he's done enough. We know who next year's winner is going to be. We don't need to vote for that next year. It's going to be ridiculous.
All right, who's going to win?
Well, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Of course.
Well, they're saying that there's a whole lot of players that have gone down injured this year.
Yeah, I think Joe Burrows will probably have a claim.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't surprise me at all.
Kirk, Justin Herbert. There's going to be a lot. So the last.
Anyway, that's next season.
Yeah, the last one of the year is Coach of the Year, and the winner is. Oh, go wrong this one. Third-year man in Detroit, Dan Campbell.
Yay!
Bitten everyone's knees and come back and bitten them again.
I saw that the Fox won, D'Amico Ryan won.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm going to have to go on your head on this one, guys. I haven't seen that one yet. It's going to be close between those two, isn't it?
Yeah,
most people I've seen tonight seem to think Kevin Stefanski's going to win it.
Wow, really? So, one of my mates messaged me going, I voted for all the awards. I didn't vote for Coach of the Year because Kevin Stefanski wasn't in it. He's a Browns fan, mind you.
Yeah. Kevin Stefanski is the favourite.
Wow.
Poor boy.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan's been nominated, but he's not going to win it, even though he's got his team to the Super Bowl.
Have he? You don't say. I've never heard that before.
I'm going to put this here. If there's a GM of the year, it should be John Lynch. Because he's created this super team. Almost like LA did 2 years ago.
Yeah, except we don't have massive cap issues next year.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, and LA fell apart after that.
But that's my thing there. Is those, Carl Lynch put a bloody good team together. Quickly, Chase Young. Are you going to keep him on or let him go?
No, definitely not.
Fair enough. That's fair
Definitely
to me.
not.
So, as we know, there's a certain game kicking off on Sunday night at about 11:30. Some concert in the middle of it and all that as well. So we decided to talk about it a bit. We're going to go our proper preview show on Sunday night. We'll go delve into it, where it's going to be won, lost, etc., etc. Do proper punditry on this stuff. But tonight we're going to go. Tonight we're going to go a different way around it. We're going to talk about Super Bowl memories. What's our fondest memory, our latest memory, and all that. Going back into it, and basically just talk about why we love the Super Bowl and what's to expect from it. As you are the youngest on the show, Mr. Hope, would you like to start us off? Because yours was probably about 2 minutes ago.
So I'm going to start with my first memory.
Yep.
Of anything. I think it's actually my first memory of NFL too. I wasn't watching this live, but it is the onside kick at the start of the second half in the Saints Super Bowl.
Oh my God, yes.
That is my first memory.
Yes.
The first Super Bowl I watched live was the Patriots versus the Falcons.
Okay.
And my favorite Super Bowl memory is probably when the Niners were winning in 2019 and the halftime performance with J-Lo and Shakira, because I was with a load of my mates. We were all drinking, and it was just an all-round good time until the Wasps play, which, by the way, Bosa was held on.
He's not letting this go. Every time the Super Bowl comes around, he talks about it.
He was basically in a headlock.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it.
And
Mr. Harris.
Just quickly, one more thing. That Jimmy Garoppolo to Emmanuel Sanders throw is still in my nightmares.
Oh, I feel.
Yes, thank you, Nick. Bosa was held.
So, Mr. Harris, go ahead, mate.
It will not surprise anyone to know with my Super Bowl memories. I started watching the NFL in 2001, and I had to pick a team. I thought the Ravens were a cool name, cool uniform. So, I started following them, and they happened to beat the Giants in that year's Super Bowl 34-7 with Super Bowl winning quarterback Trent Dilfer. I will never get tired of saying that. Mr. P, where are you when I'm saying this? Led the team with 12 completions out of 25 attempts, 153 yards, and one touchdown throw to Brandon Stokely. As I said, 34-7. We were brilliant that season. And so of course after that, then there was always where's this team going to go? What's this sport about? What happens next? So then we didn't get to the big dance again until we're not allowed to talk about this game on the show, so I'll keep it short and sweet. The Lights Out Bowl in 2013 in New Orleans, where we beat a certain team. A certain team 34 points to 31. So like we were saying previously about favorite halftime performances. I think the Eminem one 2 years ago was fantastic. I thought he was brilliant.
Oh my God, yes.
I thought
Yes.
We were in Lane 7 in Bristol, and we were all all a little bit drunk, and our eyes were half shut because it was like 2 a.m. or whatever it was. And we were all jumping up and down, and you knew all the words to all the songs.
My God, yes.
That's what you want. You want somebody like that whose hits are universal, that everyone knows. I mean, you could probably get away with the likes of Fall Out Boy. And now I think would be a great halftime show. Queen would have been a great halftime show. Kiss have done it previously, and Phil will back me up on this. Again, his songs everyone knows. Ollie, I'd even go as far to say, if they were still a thing, Linkin Park probably could have got away with it one year.
Oh my God, yes.
It's just funny you talk about that because I was on Andy's Across the Pod podcast yesterday.
Friend of the show.
And friend of the show, Andy. And we actually talked about our favourite halftime shows, and the Eminem one was brought up. But one that I really like is actually Coldplay's from Super Bowl 50 at Levi.
I thought it had been Katy Perry with the dancing left shark.
Oh, I love the left shark is iconic, but
definitely Coldplay. Always like.
But I did really like Coldplay's. I mean, they brought on Beyonce and Bruno Mars. Like,
it was a good show, and it was was it in San Fran?
It was. Don't shoot me, but do you think it's probably going to be Taylor next year, especially if they're still together?
Probably. Why not? The league probably paid an awful enough money. Why not get her to do that as well? Drag Travis Kelce up and get him to propose to her on stage as well. Yeah, do that because that's what the league's about these days.
So as people know that I got into sport by Madden. That's not entirely true. I've always known about the sport and always had like ideas of sport because my dad's a massive NFL fan. He used to watch it back in the 80s when he was on Channel 4 over here. Yes, there was only 4 channels at that point. Over here in the UK,
yes,
you get these games. It was always like Minnesota, Green Bay, Atlanta, them teams. I always had an idea, but I'd never really picked a team, so I picked up Madden in '99. And it's like scrolling along, I don't know what team to pick. England, no, they're New England Patriots. Followed them ever since. Didn't really start watching the Super Bowl until 2002 against the St. Louis Rams. Happened to be the start of our dynasty. And that's my earliest memory of the Super Bowl. I was 19 at the time, 20 at the time. You know, I was never able to stay up or out working and a little bit intoxicated, so I never got to watch it.
How crazy is that, Ollie? That was only 5 years ago for me when I was 20.
Shut up.
Oh, disgusting words.
Does that make you get old?
We feel old every day. We feel old when we get out of bed.
I've seen the Patriots go to Super Bowls 11 times. I've seen 2 heartbreaking losses against New York Giants, which was devastating. I remember in 2012, like in the middle of the night, feeding my eldest son because I was watching it and he woke up, so I was feeding him, trying to watch Super Bowl and trying to feed him and wind him and put him back to sleep at the same time. Absolutely devastated that the helmet catch, and then you got bloody Eli Manning's escapism from that what should have been a sack and ridiculous. My fondest memory, I don't care what anyone says, yes, it's a bit biased, is the 2016 and the 2016 and 2018? 2018 or 2017, sorry. 2017, 28-3 down. I don't think I just woke the house up. I think I woke the whole street up. I was this close to going to bed until Dante Hightower sacked Matt Ryan and made them go kick the ball. And Phil always talks about momentum shift. Football's all about momentum. You felt literally the momentum shift to New England. And literally, bang, 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 touchdown, 2 points, touchdown, 2 points, touchdown, 2 points. Then you had that catch from Julian Edelman. Ridiculous control to keep that ball off the ground.
That was like as iconic as the helmet catch.
It's almost and then you had Malcolm Butler literally intercepting on the goal line to win the game against Seattle. Loved that. Love that. I mean, Malcolm Butler is my favorite Patriots player, one of my favorite Patriots players of all time. I met him in Germany. Really, really nice guy. He still has the truck that Brady gave him when he got MVP.
Yeah. That 28-3 game is what took me from like a fan of the NFL to like a die-hard fan of the NFL.
Yeah, it was absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I won't lie. My favorite Super Bowl halftime show. I loved Eminem, Dre, Snoop, and all that. I'm a Shane. I'm a metalhead. I'm an not as
Yes.
emo as this gentleman is, but I love my metal. I don't know, I've been.
Oh, I'm not a resident emo on the show. The resident emo on the show was in full effect on Tuesday night when we went to see Beast in Black.
Whistle.
Me and Mr. Perrins. You see the nail varnish on his fingers.
Yeah. You
But-
FaceTime us, we saw.
I will always, I worked in a pub, and the landlord and the bar manager was massive into hip hop. So I love Dre, I love Eminem. I've got Eminem albums, CDs for what they called them back in them days. So watching them do these performances live, it was like, oh my god, it took me back to my teens and like my 20s.
I don't know anyone that didn't like that halftime show.
It was a hell of a lot better than last year's. Let's put it that way.
What was last year?
And this year's too.
Yeah, man.
She was pregnant, and she didn't tell anybody she was pregnant, but she was.
Yeah.
I think Usher's going to be good because he's got some decent hits, Usher.
I think Usher's going to be good. Confessions. You got, yeah.
I think he's going to open with Yeah and close with Oh My God.
I don't think he's going to open with Yeah because I think he's going to bring out Ludacris.
Ooh.
Do the rap.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to do it. If I'm drunk, I can do the Ludacris rap word for word.
So
can you really? No, that's interesting.
I can probably do the Ludacris rap too from Yeah.
I wish I never said that now.
I can hold you to that one.
The most iconic halftime performance was Prince.
Prince
starts playing Purple Rain, and it literally starts raining in Miami. It was like everyone knew they needed to do this, and it was going to be one of his last ever performances. I'm a Prince fan. I like Prince's music. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Purple Rain is one of my favorite songs of all time. And to see that and see the rain and all that as well, and the crowd just go absolutely bonkers for it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I think another iconic one is Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Because apparently he made a deal with the presenters or whoever, the sound people, that they weren't going to start the music until he touched his sunglasses. And he was stood there on the stage for a good 10, 15 seconds with no music before he touched his sunglasses.
Obviously there's so many great Super Bowls going back, St. Louis Rams against Tennessee Titans, really good 23-16. Then you got the latest one of the 13-3, New England against the LA Rams.
Oh, God, that was dull.
From a defensive point of view, and I am a defensive back, I played defensive back, Phil played defensive end, that was a brilliant defensive game. That showed what Bill Belichick does.
Yes, but the Super Bowl is what a lot of people watch as their only NFL. It should be a good advert for the game. And from people who don't know, God, that was dull.
But also, it's some teams' biggest game of the season. They may never get there again. Those players may never get to the big dance ever again. So they want to make sure they do their jobs and do their jobs well.
Then you go back to the early 90s, where Buffalo lost 4 on the bounce.
Woo! Oh
4 on the bounce. They always say to get back to the Super Bowl is hard. But to get back 4 years on the bounce and not winning it, as a Patriots fan, I friggin' love that.
There's a great documentary on Disney Plus about that.
Yes, there is. I've seen it. It's very good.
Do you know that Buffalo lost to all NFC East teams? They lost to Dallas twice, New York, and Washington. That's even more embarrassing.
My dad always talks about the first Super Bowl he remembers in the 80s was the LA Raiders versus the Washington Redskins. And apparently everybody thought the Redskins were going to win and the Raiders did. And my dad never shuts up about that.
Yeah, I remember. I think one of my first ones my dad remembers were the Oakland Raiders against Philadelphia Eagles in '81. Being back in them days in the New Orleans Superdome. It's a brilliant game. I've watched highlights of it. It was a really good game. Watching these old guys going at it with literally hardly any padding on it. You watch the stuff nowadays, and you think, oh, they've got so much padding. Go watch it back in the 70s and 60s. Yeah, hardly nothing. They had some of them had like literally a football as a helmet. That's pretty much all their protection there was. It was ridiculous. And then they introduced the face mask and then the extra bars, and then you got all these helmets now.
Gum shields.
Yeah, gum shields and all that as well. Unless you're Brian Branch, who wears his in his helmet, which is really weird. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Sunday's game. I think it is going to be a bloody good game. Sorry, Shane, but I do think out the AFC teams, Kansas is probably the best team to go against them.
I'm going to take my hat off Sunday, and I'm going to try and watch this game impartially. I mean, if obviously we got our third and long group chat. I will be saying a couple of things if the refs do, pull some sneaky calls against the Niners, because they will. I'll try my best to keep my vitriol to a minimum.
I will be putting my phone on Do Not Disturb and will not be checking it during the game.
Yeah, you will.
No, I will come on and make some comments, but I will not be checking it like every time I get a notification. Like I usually do.
I think it's disgusting that we're not watching it together. I think it's wrong that we're not watching it together, but I understand why.
There will be a time.
Just Ollie, you talking about the Chiefs being the best team. I'm happier facing the Chiefs than I would be facing the Ravens.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah.
Should have been fucking us anyway.
Because I think the Ravens were the best team in the AFC this year.
Damn right we were.
No. I don't know.
So I think
if you look at the stats over the last 6 weeks of the season, including postseason, Kansas City Chiefs were up there in a lot of them.
I think the Chiefs are a lot more beatable than the Ravens.
100%. We should have beat them. 100% to beat them, but I don't think there's much in them at all.
But you didn't. Sorry.
I know it's gonna be a long off season.
We will be back Sunday night for our preview show. Our usual time, 8:30. This show will be live on Spotify. Any podcast sites you get, give it a watch, give it a listen, give it a download. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back Sunday, 8:30. So until then, stay safe and see you soon.